Good morning, everybody. My name is Sarah Manuel, and I'm here with my colleague Phil Worboys, and we represent the Bermuda government's Department of Environment and Natural Resources. And Jaime has given us a very nice segue into what I'm going to talk about today. I can figure out how to use the remote. There we go. Okay. That way. Just in case not sure where Bermuda is, we are a dot in the Northwest Atlantic at about 32 degrees north, 64 degrees west. Over here, or over on the far side, you can see the Bermuda platform. And the island is on the south side of the Bermuda platform. Just to put everything in perspective, our island is about 54 square kilometers. So we're small. And on our Bermuda platform, we do have very small areas of mangroves. We listened yesterday and realized how tiny our areas were. And we have seagrasses, and we have healthy coral reefs. We have 4 marine species of seagrass: Thalassia, Syringodium, Haliduli. Our Haliduli we're in discussion about what type of Haliduli, what species of Haliduli we have, and we also have Halophila decipiens. Oh goodness. Okay, this is my long version. All right, I'll try and whip through it as quickly as I can. So in the 1990s, there was a study done in 2004, and as you can see, all the areas in red and green are areas where we had seagrass. And in 2004, we realized that the areas in red that are circled, that are offshore, were all missing. They had disappeared. So at that time, we weren't running a monitoring program, and we could only speculate as to what had caused the decline. So we went and the department set up a monitoring program. These are our 17 monitoring sites. We've got inshore, offshore. And we did all the things that Jaime just talked about, measured all the indicators that we thought would tell us what was causing changes in the seagrass. And these are all the various things we measured, and they tell you what it was. You'd expect a change in a species composition if you had nutrients, or there was less light, or there was delivery. And as you can see, it goes on. So, and this is what we watched happen. So this is one of our monitoring sites. It's, as you can see, it's offshore, and over the years, we watched it disappear. And so this is between the results of our monitoring program from 2007 to 2017. And as you can see, we lost a lot of seagrass at those sites. And today, it looks like that. It continued to disappear. So we have lost, over the last 20 years, we have lost our seagrasses at an alarming rate. Our monitoring results show that it was not water quality that was driving our decline. It was herbivory. And it was the green turtle. And some people find this very difficult to accept, but both the monitoring program and our other studies showed that the green turtle was driving the decline. Now, people can say, how can this be? Turtles have been in existence with seagrass forever. Well, things have changed. Yes, we have all the other impacts around Bermuda, like moorings and boating propellers dragging through the seagrass, but the more recent decline was a result of turtles. And it was a dilemma. We had looked at, or we've been preserving one species in isolation. So as a reminder to all of us that if you are preserving one species, you can't do it in isolation. You've got to look at it, the ecosystem as a whole. So the Bermuda government was not about to have a culling program for green turtles. Not only would we have a local outcry, but we'd have an international outcry because the turtles around Bermuda, we don't have any nesting beaches. They all come from around the Caribbean Sea and Florida. And what has been happening in those countries is they've been doing a great job of looking after their nesting beaches. And we are seeing an increase in the turtles around Bermuda. So in the last 20 years, up until about 2018, the number of green turtle around Bermuda was increasing tremendously. And also in the North Atlantic, sharks have been overfished. So there were no predators for the green turtle. And as well as this, they're not only, the sharks are not only predators for the green turtles, but they also they stop the turtles from just sitting there and eating like a salad bar. They will the turtles, if the sharks move in, the turtles will move off. So as I said, government wasn't about to introduce a culling program, so we had to think about what we could do to save at least a small area of seagrass. But we had other things that we could do. Seagrasses have all been protected by legislation since 2012. We're not that great at enforcing it, so we need to do a better job there. We can put in things like environmentally friendly moorings to protect what seagrass is left. Last year, the Bermuda government enacted legislation to protect sharks in Bermuda's waters. So, but that's going to take a long time because sharks only produce a few pups at a time. And the other thing that we could do was manage turtle access to seagrass. And this is what we did. And we can only do this we realized we can't cover all the areas that had seagrass. So we had to be selective and choose small areas. So this is an example of where we put cages. In the far corner there, we had in 2020, we only put 6 cages in a block. We did that in early June. By August, the seagrass had recovered. You can see the insert has longer grass. Outside, the grass was totally grazed. It was only a small area of seagrassing now. So in 2020, early 2021, we decided we'd put more cages out. And as you can see, the turtle grass has expanded under that. And it's continued a little bit in 2022, but this grass is a very slow growing grass. So this is where we've got all our cage sites. We've got 24 of them all around the island. And as you can see from this table, we have had mixed results. It hasn't been straightforward. Some sites have had increase, others have decreased, and others have stayed the same. Oh, sorry, that should have gone with the previous cages. Here you can see clearly the turtles have stuck their heads in and chewed the grass. It's like they've mowed the grass on the inside edge of the cages. And you can see. This is another set of cages. And at this site, the grass has grown. We put the cages in 2021. Phil and I had a really hard time finding grass in 2021. And we put them in, but by November 2021, the grass was growing equally well in the cages and outside the cages. And what we have found since 2018, over the years of COVID, the number of turtles around Bermuda had dropped. We know this from the Bermuda Turtle Project surveys. In 2022, they found that the number of turtles around Bermuda was approximately a third of what we'd had in 2017. The Bermuda Aquarium Museum and Zoo Rehabilitation Center had received a lot of emaciated turtles. dead ones as well. They had been starving to death. We also know from one tagged turtle that it left Bermuda at a smaller size than it would normally. Normally, they stay around Bermuda for 15 to 20 years, eat our grass, and then go back to where they came from. But this one had ended up in Florida, much smaller size. So we also know they were leaving the Bermuda platform earlier than what they were doing in the past. So this is another one. Phil and I put the cages in April 2021, this top slide. And we thought, grass looks good. We're going to have, it's going to grow nicely. A month later, we went back. It was raised inside and out. Fish also like seagrass. And at this particular site, and we have a number of these sites where the fish have been grazing the grass as well. So, but then 2 years later, same set of cages. In one area of the cages, the grass is longer on the inside, shorter on the outside. So we've also got turtles grazing there. But you can see in this far bottom that there's grass. It's not so clear in this picture now, but you can see the grass is growing along the edges of the cages. It's because the fish can't get up to the cages. They can't, unlike turtles, they can't flex themselves to get the grass under the cages, under the actual edges. We also have another area where we fenced off an area. It's called the lagoon. It's inshore. So this is our lagoon. It had two entrances, which made it really easy. It has a culvert under the road at one end, at the northern end, and at the southern end, it had a bridge. We were able to cover those areas. We took 16 turtles out. And then we let the grass grow. And this is what you can see. This is what it looked like in 2017. Then the turtles moved in 2019. 2020 was when we put the grates over the entrances, and gradually it's increased. And what we're finding is, and we also had something similar with the Syringodium. And what we're finding is that it's the distribution in the lagoon is still patchy, but where the patches are, the number of shoots in those patches has increased. So the results are very encouraging. And it's a beautiful area because it's surrounded by mangroves as well. Okay, how have we done all this? There's only Phil and I in our section. We were very lucky to. The new government funded the first 6 blocks of cages, but after that, the word was getting out. People were saying, "Where's all the turtle grass?" And so the concerned members of the public were able to donate funds to the Bermuda Zoological Society, and they bought material for us to make more cages. We also, at the same time, got involved with an organization, a charity called Climate Wise. Now, whether I'll get what they do correct doesn't matter. Climate Wise, companies or individuals can go to Climate Wise and say, we want to offset our carbon footprint. And Climate Wise will help them do that. And then if they can't reduce their carbon footprint enough, the residual, they will use carefully selected projects to that will help build carbon. So these local companies, Climate Wise said to them, look, we have this project in Bermuda, which isn't going to produce carbon credits, but you are going to be contributing to restoring a carbon storing habitat. And you're also helping to save our biodiversity if you contribute to this. So we had 3 companies that contributed. And not only did they contribute financially, they had corporate donor days where they sent their staff to build cages. And we would not have been able to do it without all the help. So the staff would build the cages. And then we had one company that donated a barge, and Phil and I were able to go out and put the cages in place. So that is really all I have to share with you. Oh, sorry, I put one on the longer, but you got the longer version. And going forward, we're talking about germination and looking at germination from Syringodium.